Hey everybody, it's Ann C. We're going live and welcome everybody. This is our weekly Voice of E-commerce call. So again, greetings. This is Ann C. Welcome to the Voice of E-commerce, which is the broadcasting arm of the E-commerce Business School. And our goal is to display to the public that we are real people who have a go-giving community that supports and empowers each other. So we're thrilled to have you here, and we're going to take you to the next level of your business with this edition of the Voice of E-commerce. So, hey, let's get moving ahead. So guys, make sure you are indicating that you're joined. I'm getting from Coach Kurt, green light. We did some very fast ran through some tech challenges, and so very grateful for Coach Kurt's help. So, hey, everybody, go ahead and let me know that you're here. And we do this, it's a 15-minute call, just catching you during your lunch break. A lot of you, I know, about 70% of you are holding down a full or part-time job. So I want to dive right into the topic. You know, bread, or I should say books, they're like bread to my life. They are sustenance. Growing up, I was a massive, massive book reader. I remember being in the local library book club that my mom would take us to every week, and we had these little stars that we would earn. Hi there, Jane, good afternoon. Hi there, Kathy, good morning to you. We're talking about books. So books have been a part of my life in a really, really big way, and they continue to be in my life in a really big way, especially as an entrepreneur. You can see my, let's see if I can get out of the way. See my bookshelf over there? And we have multiple bookshelves throughout our house. Hi there, Pam. Welcome, welcome. So let's shift gears, and I want to talk about the books that really launched me into the entrepreneurial space. Now, I want to tell you, it's kind of intriguing in that way that relative to being an entrepreneur, or getting into it in a more active way, is my husband and I had actually had a number of businesses as it was. We've been in the automotive space. Hi, Mary. And my husband had, I don't want to call it an invention, but it was these DynoKid growing charts that we were selling as a very young married couple to science museums around the country. It was because our youngest really loved dinosaurs. So my husband drew up this gorgeous, beautiful DynoKid growing chart, and we sold those throughout the country. This is how many years ago now? About 30 years ago. Anyway, so we've been entrepreneurs our whole married lives. Now, I'm going to introduce you to the books that really, really changed my life, that I am going full bore as an entrepreneur. See if you can recognize them. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So I was homeschooling my kids at that time, all three, and I had dropped off my eldest son at a co-op that we belonged to. And my two youngest were with me at Barnes & Noble, and we would study, while then my eldest was taking a class at a local school that we took part in as a network within the homeschooling parents and whatnot. Anyways, I'm walking down the middle aisle of Barnes & Noble, and this book jumped out at me. And to me, the graphics, the coloring, the branding, everything is like a banner ad that you would see online. So the book jumped out at me, and the title certainly caught my attention. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I'm one to always open up a book and start semi-reading it to determine, do I want to buy it? Do I want to check it out of the library? That kind of a thing. And for example, hey there, hi Tara. Hi there, Brian. Happy day. That's right. Talking about my favorite topic. When I eat, I'm reading. Well, growing up, I was always reading, albeit not at a family meal where you're supposed to be conversing. But if I'm eating breakfast or lunch on my own, I'm reading. I read an awful lot. So I'm going to encourage you guys to be big readers. But this book absolutely changed my life. So my eldest son, I had just pulled out of 8th grade. And so it was probably his 9th grade year when I tripped over this book. And I walked into his bedroom and I said, hey, Isaiah, you need to read every book this guy has written. Okay, so on my bookshelf, I've got about 8 or 9 of these written by Robert Kiyosaki. And it was all about creating the proper mindset for the value of being an entrepreneur. because one of the most profound statements he says in there is, rich people think differently. I'll never forget him saying that. Rich people think differently, because we have within our culture what has developed over time, and I'm very adverse to it and very saddened, where there is a disdain towards business owners, like they're evil and they're bad, and look at them making money like that. And there's this assumption that all business owners are rich and they're evil and they're greedy. And nothing could be further from the truth in terms of this cultural shift, which has created a really bad image towards business owners. I love business owners. I appreciate all the blood, sweat, and toil that they put into their business to get where they're at. And sadly, it's not such a favored thing anymore, which anyways, that's just some thoughts on that. Here's another book, Cash Flow Quadrant. Absolute must read. It's a primer. And basically he's about financial education. So the cash flow quadrant, which helps you identify which quadrant you're in. Are you an employee? Let's see if I can do this right. Are you self-employed? Are you a business owner? Or are you an investor? And a business owner, his definition is that a business owner has a business that they can walk away from for 2 months. For 2 months, meaning it's automated. Okay, we're going to get to more about that in just a minute. 2 more authors that were very foundational, like you can think about the cement being poured and cured and hardened, and then you can dribble a basketball across it. These are the 3 main authors. So Robert Kiyosaki. Now I lost my other, I give away books to them, but Paul Zane Pilzer, okay? Highly recommend him. He was an economist under several presidential administrations back in the, I don't know, 70s, 80s, I'm not really sure. But the one that I don't have, I must have given it away to somebody, was about something to the effect becoming a millionaire. I can't recommend this enough because he gives the proper emotional and even spiritual aspect of what it means to be an entrepreneur and what it means at a global scale. And there's a very inherent philosophy of abundance that he talks about in his books. So I highly recommend any books by Paul Zane Pilzer. And lastly is this book by Michael Gerber, E-Myth Revisited, okay? And if you're new to business and you read this, you're gonna go, that's me, as he gives this description of someone who had a something that they were good at. In this case, it's a pie baker, and they decide to have a business. And then they find out they're wearing about 10 different hats, trying to be an expert at so many different things. And they basically came into business without the proper frame and expectations. So strongly recommend this book, E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber, okay? All right, let's see who else has rolled in here. Hi, Mary. Let me scroll down and see who else. Hey, Kathleen in the house. Jean here, Stephen Hunt, Lisa. All righty, hope I'm not missing anybody else. Now, I will have literally like 4 different books that I'm rotating through at any given time. So I'm going to share with you what I've been reading more of late, but I want to also tie it into what we do here at the E-Commerce Business School and with my staff. So hopefully a lot of you are familiar with this one, Strengths Finder, because we did a little 2-part series a couple of months ago about this book, and there's actually a test, an online test that you can take. It's put together through Gallup. Oops, right there. And it helps you identify what your strengths are on that fundamental premise that as a business owner, you want to play towards what you are naturally gifted, where your strength lies, so that you play towards that, rather than a lot of times entrepreneurs get discouraged focusing on their shortcomings, when really what you want to do is know what you're really good at, what's in your wheelhouse. And so that's the purpose of that, and we feel so strongly about it that we actually have a mini course on this book inside the E-Commerce Masters program. And we have all our new E-Commerce Masters program members go through that book and take the test because of the fundamental premise of being able to identify what your strengths are. So what am I reading most recently? A book just arrived in the mail yesterday. Okay, so I'll grab that one. It was referred to me. But this is the main book I'm going through right now, Clockwork. Now look at the pre-head. Design your business to run itself. Okay, Clockwork by Michael Michalowicz. Okay, now we had a gal speak at our event a couple of years ago, one of our e-commerce business summit events, who went through a different book. It's somewhere on my bookshelf called Profit First, and written by Mike Michalowicz. And this gal went through his book, and now she has developed a clientele as being certified through that book called Profit First. And that's a pretty simple concept. It means exactly what the book is stating, is that you run your business such that you as the owner are getting paid. So that's the premise of that book. Well, she lives in Arkansas, and I went to lunch with her a year ago. And then this book was recommended by Dr. Josie Shepard, who's one of our trainers here at the e-commerce business school. And I'm reading along in this book, and it's showcasing my friend Cindy, who has spoken at our workshop, and then we had lunch together. And the success that she's had in her business such that she can now take a full 4 weeks off, and the business will just run on itself. So I have to ask you guys, does that interest you to build a business knowing, hi there, Christine, welcome. How would you like to have a business knowing that you're going to be the goal you're shooting for, is you can be gone for a whole month? Can you guys let me know? Give me a yes if you like that idea. Thumbs up like this. Anybody? Just let me know. So we have Dr. Josie Shepard working with a very small group of my staff members, a very small handful, through this book. And in fact, our study group is tomorrow, as we go through this book, focused on EBS and to implement what is taught in this book so that it's a business that is designed to run itself. Okay, so that's, we're going through that as a study group. Hi there, and good morning to you, Carol, all the way from California. So I'm curious, guys and gals, you can just feel free, if you would, to write down the names of any books that you have found helpful, especially as an entrepreneur. And if you can share a book that you've read recently. This is the one that I just ordered through someone on my team who said that he found this book super helpful. It just came in the mail yesterday. Thank you, Amazon. And guess what? It was a used book. There were no used books left, or new books, so I bought a used book. And as you guys know, we have a course that teaches people how to sell used books. So I just helped, it was an FBA seller, by the way, Brian. You betcha, because I want a 2-day prime. Anyways, this one is called Illuminate, Harnessing the Positive Power of Negative Thinking. So I haven't even started on this one. It just came yesterday afternoon. Anyway, so also, ladies and gentlemen, can you let me know if studying books with a group of people is of interest to you? Similar to what we're doing here right now at 80/20, there's a small group of us going through this book, Clockwork. And we read a chapter and then we discuss it and implement, etc. Let me know if that's something that you're like, oh, I would really like that. Oh, thank you, Cindy. The Science of Getting Rich, I have probably read that 10, 15 times. I have it in physical. I've underlined, highlighted, I've read it over and over and over and over. I'm trying to rewire my brain, right? Christina is saying yes. Tara says yes. John, yes. Bunch of yeses. Good. All righty. And Kathleen saying, I love the idea of book groups. My parents were in study clubs when I was growing up. So I saw that growing up, where their friends would come to our house and we kids were upstairs watching the parents talk about books. So that was how I grew up. Both my parents are teachers, so I grew up in that kind of an environment. So it's just kind of wondering how you guys felt about that, going through books and then having a mastermind group of people to go through the book together. Okay. All right. Well, I don't want to keep you guys. I try to keep these to 15 minutes. If you could, please, if you've never attended one of these, write in "add me" in the comments section, and that way you'll be notified the next time. You just write in "add me," and you'll be notified of our next Voice of E-commerce call. It's going to be really cool. We're going into a series. Thank you to Kathleen Cleary for her brilliant idea. We're going to go into 2 4-part series that is going to be highly, highly informational as you hear and interact with our members who are going through our print-on-demand program, as well as a social media mastermind. So that'll be really fun. That's coming up for the next 8 weeks. So be sure you write in "add me." And last thing I'd like to encourage you to do is, if you got value out of this call and you think others would benefit from it as well, help spread the good news and do a share of this particular Facebook Live. So again, would love to hear back from you guys, because books, they are my life. They have shaped and formed a very big part of my character. Oh, I'm going to finish one more. I can't help but cheat. Kay Curtis gave away this book. She's one of our trainers. She bought a whole box full and gifted this to all the attendees of a workshop this past April. I just read through the whole book on Sunday, and it's just fantastic. It's just so fantastic. So I recommend this book as well. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. You guys all have an awesome day. Thanks for participating, and I'll see y'all next week. Till then, bye-bye, everybody.